So this is now your new life. MashaAllah. You are now a father, a dad, you're a supportive spouse, and you've got this little bundle of joy now that is part of your new family and is in your household. And we really want you to take this moment on board, enjoy it, embrace it, and be grateful for it.
Absolutely. It's something you'll never look back on. It's something you feel like you've had all your life and you cannot imagine life without it. It's about making sure that you perform every single day as the father and be the best that you can be in this role. Making sure you read up on it, speak to others, listen to things that will always improve you. Because remember, you want to be that positive influence on your child's life. It's a responsibility and a trust from Allah. But at the same time, you just love them so much that you just want the best for them. You can't imagine life without them. So you want to give them everything that you can. And this is now the beginning of that entire process. And remember, take it easy, because it's all a learning curve. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have some up days. You're going to have some down days. But it's all something you're really going to enjoy.
Definitely. This is where the tarbiyah really begins. You know, we say that we want to bring up our children in the right way and to become the best people within society and in front of the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the moment that it starts, when they're born, when they're young, when they're small. The efforts that you put in now to play Quran around the house, to hold them, to hug them, to build that bond, to create a more stronger bond in the household between you and your wife. This is where the tarbiyah towards your child really starts. Don't wait until later when they're toddlers and they're young children, and then you say, oh, now I need to think about how I'm going to raise them and how I'm going to give them Islam. Make it happen from the beginning. That is your role as a father. And the other thing to really be cognizant of is the gratitude that you need to have. You know, don't forget all the du'as that you made. You know, it's easy to forget now that you have the baby. And like you said, you know, it feels like I've had this my whole life. Because of that feeling, you can almost forget that you are at a stage when you never had this. You are at a stage when you were making dua for this in the night. Maybe you went to an umrah and you asked Allah for this even before you got married, that you asked Him to provide you with children. And remember, there are so many people, you may even have friends and family in your life that can't have children. Maybe there are some medical complications. Maybe Allah hasn't blessed them with the opportunity yet. Maybe they just are finding it difficult to get married and they really want to get married so they can have children. And these people will be looking at your situation and hoping that they could be in that situation. So really remember that, take that on board and be grateful for all these moments.
There's something amazing I want to kind of make sure that you have in your mind at all times. When we think, oh, now I've got a family, bills, responsibilities. Man, back in the day, I used to be going to this lecture, or I was able to go to the gym, or I was able to give X amount in charity, and I was doing so many good deeds. And now it's just difficult because I'm stuck at home and I'm not doing much, and I'm changing nappies and I'm not fulfilling myself, and I have so much potential. Life's different. I want to really challenge your mindset here. And I want to tell you very specifically that, have you ever, maybe you gave £10 in charity, maybe you even gave £100 if you had some good cash in uni times, right? But have you ever managed to give thousands of pounds every month? Have you? No. Do you do that now? How so? A sheikh mentioned, he said, when you consider that you're paying the house rent, when you are paying all the bills, when you are making sure that everyone is fed, clothed, all the toys are there, the books are there, the education is there, you're making sure you're facilitating all of this. Plus then when you're physically doing those actions to help out around the house, you think this is not all an act of charity? You think that this is all something that is going unnoticed on your account?
SubhanAllah.
Rather, no, it's something that's going to be immensely rewardable. Immensely. Yes, there are things you're obliged to do, but that doesn't mean that you're not rewarded for the obligation too. Just like it's an act of charity. When we give sadaqah or when we give zakat, one is voluntary and one you have to do, right? But is there a reward to zakat? Of course there is. Is there a reward for praying? Of course there is. The same reward. Yes, it may be your obligation, but there is a reward in doing it so, right? So don't think that, hang on, bills and rent and this and that and toys, oh, they got so many toys, oh, but she doesn't need this and he doesn't need that. None of that really should cross your mind in that way. Rather, each and every activity you do as a father and as a husband, as a leader of the home, is an act of charity for you and is that rewardable deed that you are doing for the sake of Allah. Another tip, one my friend passed to me as well. And again, this is about having that dadhood community, right?
For sure.
Is important, because then you learn the goodness and you can implement these things. It's all about implementation. So as, for example, he mentioned to me when he was putting one of his children to sleep, he would be rocking them and stuff. He used that opportunity instead of being like shh or sing like a lullaby, he instead did his adhkar. And he used to do adhkar in that point and utilize that 10, 15, 20, half an hour even, because if the baby's a bit cranky, it can take some time using the adhkar. It's about utilizing and remembering that Allah is the center of all affairs in every moment.
Yes.
Sometimes things can feel overwhelming. Sometimes things can make you forget. Like Shu'aib said, you forgot you made dua for this blessing that you have right now. Right? But look, Allah has allowed you to relish in that blessing. So much so you forgot you never had it. So the point here is to use all of those moments to realize, hang on, everything I'm doing is rewarded. Everything I'm doing is an act of charity. I should enjoy it more, because then you start to feel, instead of I'm giving money away, rather I'm spending money in the sake of Allah I've never ever spent. Rather that every nappy I change, alhamdulillah, I'm looking after my child in a way that it's like I'm kind of doing things out of my own hands, rather than a digital click and a pound goes out automatically that I never even considered, right? There's an effort and action that the physical doing gives a different level of contentment. And that's, I think, how we should develop that mindset as fathers, that we're involved and active and we engage in these things very intentionally. And intentionality is something that we need to adopt as fathers as well.
For sure.